The MMA India Show.
All right, what's up, y'all? Rodney James here. I'm with a guy who's fighting on UFC 246. That's January 18th here in Las Vegas. Of course, I'm talking about the fight that's headlined by Conor McGregor and Cowboy Cerrone. Anytime that Conor McGregor is in town, or Cowboy Cerrone for that matter, it's a big deal. How excited you to be on this card, man, fighting in Las Vegas?
I'm pretty excited, man, but I'm past excitement. You've been after because I've known about this fight for a while now. So, I was excited for the first 2 months, but then after a while, it goes in levels. You get excited, then you're like, okay, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to fight.
I know what you mean.
So
I know what you mean.
I'm very ecstatic though to be on this card. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a roller coaster, isn't it? When you find out who you're fighting, it's just like it's hard to keep your mind off of it because you're motivated. On your best day, you feel like a killer. You're in the gym, you have a good session. On your worst day, when you get into your head, you're like, oh, fuck, man. Like, this is a big moment, man.
Yes, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like you've been there. It's exactly it. Like you said, on your worst days, man. You're just like, man, like shit, and everyone has that oh shit moment, because I think on the outside of fighting, these awesome days every single day where you're just a killer in the gym. And that's not true. That's like a facade that I think everybody has.
Yeah, well, I do kind of. I have been there. I posted a 2-1 record, but I'm not. I haven't committed to a full career. I'm too old at this point, but that's why I have an extra added respect for y'all, man. I do know what that roller coaster is like, and that fight camp and the weight cut and all that. It's horrible. But listen, I was talking to another Contender Series Season 3 alumni who just fought here in Las Vegas at the last card, Puna. Soriano, and also Chase Hooper. And man, I was telling these guys, like, for anyone who thinks that y'all get an easy road because you didn't have to go through all of the, not Contender Series, but damn, Ultimate Fighter. It's almost a forgot. It's almost forgotten at this point. But no, you guys didn't have to go through that whole process. But the thing is, when they put you in the UFC, y'all do not get an easy road. They throw you right into the deep end. They're not putting y'all against other contenders. They're putting you against established veterans.
Exactly, and there's no such thing as an easy road. You know what I mean? There's all of them sweat and tears and blood that was shed leading up to those points. There's no such thing as an easy road. So anybody that think that's an easy road can go kick rocks, because I know all the crying and the pain and the suffering that I did to get up to this point. So shit, I don't give a fuck what they got to say about that. There's no such thing as an easy road to get to where that point is. If you get to where that point is, where Dana White, calls you on Contender Series, you've earned it.
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, you would almost think they would put other contenders, maybe that got contracts or what have you, or other sort of up and comers, but that's not been the case. Puna was against a guy who was a former Cage Warriors middleweight champion and knocked him out. I don't know if you saw that one. It was brutal. And then Chase Hooper was against David Tamer and almost got finished. I mean, this kid's like 20 years old and he's in there with a freaking stud. And with you got Brian Kelleher, a guy who's been a champion in other organizations. Ton of experience. Got about 20 wins. And, he's coming off of 2 losses, both finishes, but in a way, I think that makes him a little more dangerous because he kind of has to know, hey, I got to get in here and I have to win at all costs.
Yeah, most definitely. He definitely has to win at all costs. And I think that's, I think they want to test me to see what I got, and I love that because I love a good test. I love a good challenge. I love all of the pressure of everything. I don't really let pressure become me. I try to block everything out. So my mind is like a stoic mountain or a rock, and I think they really try to see what you're about. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, let's put him in there and against a tough guy and let's see what he's really about. You know what I mean? And so I like it, man. It's a good test.
Yeah, no, and I was just thinking too. A lot of guys, younger guys, would probably think, and you can actually reflect on this now that you've gotten into the pinnacle, into the UFC, it's not the finish line. You're literally, that's just where you're getting started, because now
Exactly.
you made it, but
Exactly.
you're trying to get to the gold.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go in there and have this 3-round fight and win by like a decision or unanimous decision or whatever. I'm trying to go in there and finish him in like the first round, and not just him. I'm trying to go in there and finish everybody in the first round. That's where my mind's at. I didn't just get to the UFC just to get to the UFC. I came here to be a champion. I'm not trying to just go in here and have these these fights just last. Like, I'm trying to go in here and just devour people. Like make it look easy. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love the attitude, and that is exactly why I was at all 10 weeks of Contender Series this season at the new facility. How amazing was that? The Apex.
Oh man, it was awesome. It was definitely like surreal. It was surreal, man. Like I said, I came just being here. I was like, just being here in this facility by itself was so just wow. Coming from like just coming from nothing to being in Vegas, and first of all, that was like wow, that was mind blowing for me. Like, you know what I mean? Just that was just I don't even know. I didn't have
was your
words
first time out here?
Yeah, first time in Vegas.
And you get to come back to make your debut in the UFC. So that's interesting. You said that the fight has been booked for a couple of months. Because I felt like it took a while because I was waiting. There were a few standouts in this whole, and you were one of them in this whole season, And I thought, man, okay, I'm seeing some of the other guys start to make their debuts. Where the hell is Ode Osbourne? So did some other fights maybe materialize and then fall through, or what kind of happened?
I really don't know, because I was thinking that same thing myself. I was like, man, like, I'm like, Dana said he liked my performance. I talked to him afterwards. He came up and he commended me really well. I was like, and they're not putting me on any cards anytime soon. There must. So for me, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna be patient. You know what? I didn't ask my manager about it. I didn't ask my coaches about it. I just, trusted in God and let God do his thing and just be patient as possible. And I was just like, you know what? It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna end up on something good. So I'm just gonna let it go by. And I waited, and sure enough, got on this great card. So I think, they were trying to put some good people on this card.
Yeah, well,
and I think I'm one of them. I think.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I'm excited. You're and you're gainfully employed too. That allows you to be patient because you're a school teacher, right?
Yeah, I am. I sure.
I bet those kids listen to you. I
Man,
mean, not
they
that you
do,
could
but at
threaten
the
them
same
with
time,
violence, but I mean, I'm sure just the aura of being a cage fighter is enough to get their respect.
it is, but I tell people this all the time. It's different, man. It's different when you got like suburban kids versus like inner city kids. You know what I mean? Like, I work with inner city kids, and they don't give a shit. They don't give a damn, really. They're just like, all right, that's cool. Like they're just like, they do whatever they want to do and say whatever they want to say. How when they get upset, no matter, regardless of what it is, they just
Wow.
you know what I mean. It's because they're exposed to everything and anything. So I gotta have to get a level above that. You know what I mean? I really have to be Ode Osbourne, the mentor, or Ode Osbourne, the father, or Ode Osbourne, the educator, instead of Ode Osbourne, the fighter. You know what I mean? I think that's where you really touch them, is by being Ode Osbourne, the lover.
You're an interesting guy, man. You're an interesting guy. And so, and you're Jamaican, yeah? But you live in
Yep,
Wisconsin.
I was born in Jamaica. I came to the States at the age of 9.
Yeah, man. You go
Yep.
back? You ever go back?
Yeah, man. Respect.
So we've got what? Aljo. We've got who else? Oh wait, Aljo might be from somewhere else. But Uriah Hall. Who else?
There's a couple up and coming Jamaicans that I've been keeping in contact with and keeping an eye on, that I really respect, and we chat every once in a while. But there's a guy, his name is he goes by the Real Jamaica Funk. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No, but I want to. That's a great name.
Yeah, man. Peep him. He's a cool dude, man. He's slick. He's finishing people out there. I think he'll be in the league pretty soon.
You ever meet
Dope guy,
Uriah Hall?
No, I never meet Uriah Hall. I never met him. I never really met him.
Yeah, maybe you'll see him around in Las Vegas when you're here. Because, well, he used to train with us over at Extreme Couture. I think he's still around, but he's over at Fortis MMA in Dallas. Um, so, yeah, when you were here before, what was it like going to the UFC PI? I know going there for the first time, even the first few times, it's freaking overwhelming how awesome that place. We talked about the Apex, but let's not forget about the Performance Institute.
Man, I was just taking everything in. Like, ask anybody there, ask all the workers and the, people that were facilitating everything. I was just like being extra. I was just like taking pictures with everything. I was like, man, forget the UFC fighters. I didn't take a picture with any UFC fighter. I didn't care. I don't care about the fighters, but I was taking pictures with all the all the objects and like just I was mind. It was so surreal. Like I tell you, it was super surreal, man. You have no idea when you come from taking a dump in an outhouse bathroom and taking a shower outside to being in a facility like a PI like that, where they got chefs that cook you food in the cafeteria, to masseuse. They got machines that they hook up to you and tell you pretty much how many times you blinked in the past month. That shit is crazy to me still. They
Yeah.
got the hot pool and the cold pool and the pool that'll make your bank account go up. They got
Nice.
everything. I was blown away, man. I was like, wow. Like, and all the people that I was with were, they saw like all the UFC fighters, and there were some big name fighters that walked through, and they were getting pictures with them, and I was like, man, I don't give a damn about them. Like, I'm looking at all this. I'm taking all this in. Like, people are people to me. I really don't give a shit about, meeting fighters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People are people. We're all people. I don't give a damn about that. But what I care about though is the atmosphere and the just the environment and the culture of everything, and being there and just taking all that in. For me was such a great feeling. Like, I was just like mind blown.
I love what you said. I want to go back a step here, a couple steps. I love what you said about the philosophy sort of Dana and the matchmakers when they're putting guys into these Contender Series fights. Again, I told you I was there for all of them. I'm a big proponent. I'm always just singing the praises of that show, of what they're doing with it, of the fighter, of the talent that we're able to cultivate, in that pressure cooker. Because you get it. I see so many guys that go out there and lay an egg, or they just kind of like, they don't fight to finish. They fight to win.
Yeah.
And I go, you can't do that. That's not what Dana wants, man. I understand what he wants very, I have a very good understanding because I've heard him articulate it so many times, and I've been right there in the room with him, and I've seen him on TV. You hit it right on the head, though. You said, look, they want to put this guy in here, see what can he do? What can you do? We're going to put you in a situation, say, it's do or die. You want this job? Yep. This is your job interview. Get in there, beat that guy's ass. If you could do that, we might could talk. If you go in there and act like you're scared,
people out here,
we can't gamble on you.
I know, right? People out here trying to play patty cake and shit. They're out here like twiddling their thumbs, trying to make rounds last and try to hold people down. I'm trying to, like, if you're trying to win rounds by point, why the fuck are you fighting? Why did you become a fighter? Did you become a fighter to last? I'm a fighter by heart, by nature. I bet you my ancestors were pillaging villages and doing some crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a fighter by heart, by nature. I'm not out here to be like lackadaisical. Like, all my fights, even the fights that I've lost, the 2 fights I've lost, I guarantee you, both my opponents I've lost to were like, man, I don't want to fight that guy again ever. You know what I mean? Like, they'd never want to fight me again.
Good. It's good to see a Jamaican prospect coming up too. It's you guys are underrepresented in the sport. I feel like that could change with time, because a guy like you talked about being a mentor to the kids, but I think for a whole nation, you might be able to really be inspirational. And that's huge, man. That's a fucking big deal. Because if you look at 2019, right, it's a huge, huge year for African fighters, which man. I was just very, I was very stoked to see that, because, again, very underrepresented demographic, but a lot of potential talent in there. You just got to raise the awareness and build up that brand appropriately, because we talked about this a lot, man, me and my boys, and I talked about this in the barbershop too. A lot of people still think MMA is this crazy white boy sport, but
I
it's
know,
it,
I know. It's
it's
funny.
really
I
not. You're
thought,
starting to
yeah,
see
it's
extremely high level
it's funny.
athletes, NFL
No,
athletes,
it is.
wrestlers.
It's no for real, and I think you know, it's crazy because like you said that Usain Bolt is the fastest man on land, and I'm about to be the fastest Jamaican in the octagon. You know what I mean? And I think people sleep on that because like you talk about African Americans, like our DNA is it's crazy. Um, People make jokes that you know what I mean. Um, Black people athletic. Like it's true, we are. We're real. Like it's our DNA. It's just I don't know what it is, but something. It just like I think it's deep rooted. It
Yeah,
makes us really, our drive, our, and it's not just about our athleticism. It's about our mind. It's where we came from. It really is where we came from. Literally outside every day, running in the streets. Running like we used to go outside and just race every single day, and we go outside and we would fight each other like not like not like we hate out of hatred, but out of fun. Like we go outside and man, growing up, all we did was fight. That's all we did. We used to go outside and just fight. We put like no joke. We used to go outside and just fight. Like it was just fun for us because that's the thing. I think people see MMA as this like violent, vicious sport. People forget that men are men. We're men. We that's what we do. We put two men in a room for a long time. Eventually, testosterone is gonna take over, and that's what we do. We fight because it's something that we enjoy to do. It's not that we hate each other or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't hate anybody that when I go into the cage to fight. I don't hate that. I don't hate that person or have no animosity towards that person. I fight out of love and passion and my drive for fighting, and that DNA that's deep rooted within me comes out. You know what I mean? And it's terrifying. It's terrifying for um, a lot of reasons. It's terrifying for me because like when I'm in there, I get that almost like a stoic look on my face, right? Where I'm just like I'm not even there anymore. I'm out of it. It's like when you're birthed, when your mom gave birth to you, and you've never been touched by human interaction, right? And you've never been influenced by anybody, and you're just pure. That's how I feel when I'm in there. I feel like that's for the first time in my life, like I'm reborn again. Where I'm in that cage, I've never been touched by human interactions or influenced by anybody. I'm just pure, and I get in this zen where everything is just phased out, and I get to just be myself, be that whatever God wanted me to be. I'm just that thing. I'm not even. It's weird. I'm a very like spiritual when I'm in there. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? It's just not like I think people fight with so many. I think a lot of people think that you have to be angry, you have to be mad. I don't. That's the case. I think you just go in there and you just flow because for me, it's like you shouldn't be thinking about all these techniques. Really, you shouldn't. I think techniques is for pad work, bag work, and for your teammates in the gym. When you spar and when you fight, you shouldn't think about any technique. Everything should just be. You should just be able to be yourself. That's why I consider myself the Picasso of MMA because it's an art. It's an art. You're in there just being an artist and you're feeling whatever comes natural. You shouldn't all the technique that you've done in the gym that should come out on fight night. You shouldn't have to think about it. You rep those technique so that you can just go in there and just flow all those technique and just create your own painting.
Man, this guy gets it. You really do. I'm telling you, man. I noticed that, and I'm not just saying it because you're here. You and Tracy Cortez. I said, man, and there's probably a few others. I mean, there's so many fighters. I have to go back and Tony Gravely's another one. He actually fought my buddy. He's gonna be big. Brock Weaver's gonna be a big deal. You, man.
Yeah, I was peeping him too. I was peeping him for sure, man.
He's a
He
trip,
gets
man.
it.
He's a trip.
Yeah,
I like that
yeah.
guy. I like that guy a
Mhm.
lot. But I looked at you guys and I go, not only do you stand out because of your performance, but just your personality and your attitude. I mean, that I'm in your corner. I'm excited to see you guys get the shine finally because I feel like with Contender Series it's great. but it's also sort of for the really hardcore MMA bubble. With a fight like a Conor McGregor fight, you're getting so many more eyeballs right now, and this is your moment to shine.
Yeah, and I've said this before, man. My old trainer used to, rest his soul. My old trainer used to say this: the best fighters are not in the UFC, and I believe that solely, heavily. The best fighters are not in the UFC until now, because I believe I have this like I don't know why, and you know what I mean. It's probably gonna give me a lot of shit for saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I believe that um, a lot of fighters just have. I feel like the talent level has gone down a lot, and a lot of fighters just have this hype build up so much around them, so that whenever like say a fighter like Conor McGregor beats like knocks him out or crushes somebody, right? I don't believe that that person really is that great of a fighter. You know what I mean? Like I just believe that the UFC has not seen true potential yet. I think that they're just average, and when you beat somebody that's just average, you know what I mean. I think that when people see me fighting, it's gonna open up a whole like, oh shit, that guy is a real prophecy. Holy shit, okay, that is what a fighter actually is. You know what I mean? It's like a whole nother level that I think people have not experienced. So every once in a while, you get the Anderson Silva, the Conor McGregor, the Jose Aldo, the you know what I mean? Every what decade those fighters come around, and you kind of people get shocked by it. But really, I haven't seen that yet. I think as of late, there's been a lot of fighters that people think that it's there, but really, if you study how they are and you study their personality, and it's just all fluff,
Mm-hmm.
really. You know
Yeah,
what I
a
mean?
lot
It's
of
all
divas.
fluff.
There's a lot of divas
Yeah,
around these days.
yeah,
People
yeah,
want to cherry
yeah.
pick fights, and yeah, it's all politics. Yeah, you got to love the.
Really, for real. I'm trying to fight the best. I'm trying to shit. If I'm trying to fight Cejudo right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to be out here trying to like, oh well, I'm gonna turn that guy down and that guy down. No, you're trying to be you're if you're truly innately born a fighter, like you truly want to fight because for me, I want to fight because I got I got kids that from my school that look up to me and kids in the community that I want to inspire. I really don't give a shit about the audience or the fans or whatever. I do on that on some levels because they make you know what I mean. If it wasn't for the fans, there would be no UFC. But say I did something bad, right? You know what I mean? I always say if I did something bad, which I hope I never do, if I did something bad and then I got the fans are like, oh man, I can't believe you did this. I'm like, I don't give a damn about what they think because they were never in me. They were never in the gym with me when I had to do all that I had to do to get where I'm at today. So I don't fight for them. I really don't. I fight for all the kids in my school that not just my school. I'm gonna stop saying that. All the kids in general that are put down every single day by people that tell them they can't do something. Because I dropped out of college, you know what I mean? And people gave me shit about it. And I'm gonna say to all the kids that are put down every single day because they want to do something, and people around them constantly tell them like, "Oh, you ain't never gonna be this because of where you came from." That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I fight to make that. I need a platform. Really, that's really it. I need a large platform, and in order to get that platform, I know I gotta be a champion to get that platform. That's why I'm in it because of that. No other reason. Not because of the money. Not because of the fame. Not because any of that. And I always tell people, you fight me just because you want to get a check. Shit, you gonna lose because I'm fighting for everything beyond that.
He doesn't give a damn about fortune and fame. He's all about honor and integrity. That is fucking outstanding. Ode Osbourne, I'm honored that you gave us your time today, and we need to continue this conversation when you're in Las Vegas. I know you're going to be busy, but
Yeah.
we'll probably run into one another. I want to show you something. I got a caveat to what you were saying about, people thinking, because I was noticing that too about your attitude. We talked about your approach to fighting, but your approach to the fight itself, the way that you just kind of keep yourself in a good mood and stay happy. And you made a comment about how, like, I've always felt it was a defense mechanism for people who like, "Ugh, I got to be angry and like I'm,
Yeah.
because like my coach even told me my first fight at the weigh-ins, he goes, hey, he pulled me aside actually, and he was like, hey, he's like, I seen your opponent, man. He's running around. He's like, dude, if he looks at you, man, you mean mug him right back. And if he fucking says something, and I was like, dude, no, like we don't need to do all that. We don't need. So let me ask you this: did you guys do the face-offs whenever you did your weigh-ins for Contender Series? Because I know they changed it up mid-season on account of me. Because I asked Dana White, how come we're not doing that? Because that is, I feel, an important part. That's where the fight starts. Did y'all do it or no?
No, we didn't do it. We didn't do the face-off.
They ended up so they ended up changing it later on because after one of the fights, I asked Dana White. I said, "How come we're not doing face-offs? If you're doing weigh-ins, we might as well face them off." And I tell you, man, my first fight, dude, I all my boys kept telling me like, "Man, that dude looks scared. He looks like he's scared." And I'm like, "Well, okay, he's kind of intimidating, so I don't, whatever." But as soon as we faced off, and I looked in his eyes, and I saw how he was trying to like. He was like trying to make me intimidated and shit. He was like in my face like this, and I was just stoic. Well, I mean, here he goes right before he got choked out. So, so my point is, it doesn't matter. My second fight, I'm hanging out back. I'm getting warmed up. I'm nervous as fuck. I'm listening to my music. I'm stretching out. My opponent kicks me. Look up. He said, hey, man, I know it's kind of awkward for people to talk to each other before a fight. He said, man, but can we get a selfie? He's like, man, you look just like John Cena. I want a selfie with you.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck it. Why not? Took a selfie. 30 minutes later, I'm in there trying to beat his ass. That's what I'm saying, man. Yep. You just articulated that well. It's like, dude, it's not about... Dude, just get in there and win the fight. I remember one of my coaches asked me before that first fight. He's like, all right, we got to tailor a game plan for you. What are you, like are you a striker or a grappler? Why does it always have to be a dichotomy? It's not.
I know.
This is a fight. Though. I told him, I looked at him, I said, I'm a fighter. That's what I am. I'm neither a grappler or a striker. I'm going to win wherever I can win. So if I can grapple better, I'm going to grapple you and beat your ass.
Yep.
If I can strike better, I'm gonna knock you out.
Dude, that's 100% because I grew up wrestling. I wrestled in college. I wrestled in high school. You know what I mean? But my hands are clean. My submission game is clean because I practice all my crafts. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a kickboxer. I'm not a jits, expert. I'm a martial artist.
Exactly, man. Yeah, you got to find, and like you said, man, when you're in there, never mind technique. Like that 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and a high kick and all these that shit doesn't. You got to just fucking throw. You got You got to throw what's available. You got to
look for the openings. Like I tell I'm a fuck it. People are always like, why are you giving people your secret? People always say like, oh, you shouldn't say this when you do these interviews, or whenever I got people come and film me, oh, do you want me to cut this when I film you because I want people to get what you're doing. I'm like, it don't matter what people see or what they hear from me. It's you're fighting. You can't fight my reactions. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? It's one thing if you study film on me. It's another thing having that animal in front of you. It's a completely different thing. And I think people always try to, like you said, bring out this like, oh, this tough guy. You don't fear that guy. The guy you fear is the guy that looks at you dead in your eyes, or not fear, but the guy you respect, I should say. You look at you dead in your eyes with no emotions. Just you know what I mean? Like, because that's the guy that can block out everything.
Yeah, that's a true fighter. Like he's not going to be rattled either. You could tell. And like I said, that's where the fight starts. You look into a guy's eyes, you fucking know. You could tell. You look in a guy's eyes like, okay, this motherfucker is just as crazy. Yeah, you can see the fear, or you can say, okay, this guy's just as crazy as me.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Rose Namajunas, prime example right there. Prime example. Joanna, she every face off, she came at Rose with that, you know what I mean? That aggression, that like, killer look. Rose was just stoic on the face off. Rose was stoic.
Oh, what a national treasure. How do you not love her after that story?
Yeah.
So Ode Osbourne. I hope I said that right.
Ode, it's all good, man. I don't give a shit. Ode.
It's kind of close to Ozzy Osbourne. Are you fans of Black Sabbath?
minus the drugs and and all.
He's good, man. He's talented.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Well, look, it's been great chatting with you on this Sunday. I know we got to get going. My Cowboys are playing, and it's not looking good for our playoff hopes. And then I think your Green Bay Packers have already locked in the division, so like they always do.
Yeah, man. To be completely honest with you, man, I fell off of football like years, and it's like I have nothing against football or anything. For me, people always message me or like, hey man, did you watch the Packers play last night? Hey man, did you see the Bucks game? Hey man, did you watch Kobe Covington and Usman? Hey man, did you watch your opponent and see his film? Hey man, I'm like, man, I got kids on like failing tests, and I got kids to inspire here. I don't give a fuck about the UFC fights or the Bucks game or the Packers game. I got shit to do. I don't got time for that.
I could take a lesson from you, man. Yeah, I spend way too much time doing all that.
But that's your job, though. That's your job, though. This is your job. Your job is revolved around sports.
True.
You know what I mean? Like that's what you do. You know what I mean? But if you in your mama's basement watching sports and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, those days are gone. I wish, man. I told you I'm too old. So where can we find you on social media in between now and your official UFC debut, January 18th, UFC 246?
I try to keep it all the same, man. Everything is at Ode Osbourne, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I don't really use Twitter that much. Everything is linked to my Twitter, so everything I post goes to Twitter. But Instagram mainly at Ode Osbourne. Osbourne, Osbourne, aka the Jamaican sensation or the Picasso of MMA, whatever you want to call it.
The Picasso of MMA, the Jamaican sensation. That's him. Ode Osbourne got the contract on Contender Series Season 3, making his official debut against an absolute stud in Brian Boom Boom Kelleher. Man, that is just, this whole card is just awesome. I've heard people saying it's not that great. Listen, it's great. Trust me. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss this guy's fight. If you missed him on Contender Series, go back on Fight Pass and watch that amazing first-round armbar finish that you got to earn that contract. And again, man, I can't say enough. Thank you, brother. I mean, it's been a great conversation with you, and I definitely look forward to the future.